Hi, my name is Catalina Alzate. I'm an assistant professor in graphic design at the University of Illinois. And unfortunately, I can't make it in person for the conference, but I'm here because I taught the DRI studio class, which is the kind of this main class for our MFA students where they develop their research projects. So it's a pretty kind of practice-based class where the students are exposed to different forms of conducting their research. And the way I taught, it was very kind of tailor-made for each one of them, given that it's a small cohort. And so we have the luxury of uh, kind of kind of following each one of their trajectories very closely. So this short video, I'm gonna share a few observations from the classroom, which hopefully will connect very well with the conversation that we had with all the grad students about communicating their research. My first observation is about making, and some of the students talk about that, and you're going to see it very soon when they discuss about the importance of making for research. My observation as a professor in this class is that there is always fear in making. There is always an underlying notion that I need to get it right. So if I don't know what is right now, then how am I gonna go and do it, right? So that jumping into whatever media they work with, it seems to represent a challenge. It seems that working with the theory and all the thinking will undoubtedly be fine, because it's about argumentation and dialogue, but making can show the mistakes. So in my class, we work with prototyping, and I'm gonna share a picture of how we learned about prototyping in this class. It was based on this idea that the design knowledge already resides in the room. So what I facilitated was a session in which everyone was talking about their conceptions of prototyping and making, and then I will chime in with my knowledge about design. So I don't expect you to kind of understand this picture because it's messy by intention. It was a process, right? The intention was not to have a picture at the end. This is just documentation. But over here, towards the bottom side of the picture, there are all these feelings, right? This is scary, this anxious, and this perfectionism, for instance, as the things that we identify that come in the way when we want to jump into making. We also talked, and this was very interesting, we talked about how the ego and one's identity is attached to the work. So obviously, when you show it to the world, you are being vulnerable, and you are sharing a part of you that is beyond the project. It's really about who you are. You are going to be hearing in the conversation with the students about this notion of asking, why am I doing this work? And like finding ourselves through the design work. And so that level of vulnerability really shows in the making. So we are talking about students who are in the first year of their MFA career. So more than I don't want to make this sound as an obstacle or something negative. Actually, what I want to say is that this is extremely positive, that we are actually moving into a terrain of uncertainty, of self inquiry. And one of the beautiful things that emerged from this exercise is that making and prototyping may not kind of give us answer, but it helps us find direction. And that kind of helped ease the anxiety around it, although it kind of needed constant reminding. My second observation is about rhythms of thinking and doing the design work. With the students, we used to discuss how hard it is to fit expansive, deep creative space within tight schedules and deadlines. And this is obviously just not a problem of the students. This is the society that we live in. But for this one, I also want to share something that we worked in our class. So here is a Miro board that we were using for one of our final reflection sessions in the class. And so in this in this search for the creative time to the projects and to get into the making. There is a component of listening to the body. And there is a section here that kind of deals with this notion of how does your body tell you what to do, and how much of this making is driven by theory or searching for the answer outside of us in the form of theory, or how much is that also about following your intuition and understanding that the design process has a lot to do with the vision that you are putting into it. This is something that is going to come in tension when you are going to be hearing the students talking about authorship and agency in the following questions. But this was just a way to share a little bit about my class and the context in which the students were working, which hopefully will help into making this panel a very joyful and productive conversation.